Good morning, dear students. Welcome to our subject, English 9, Quarter 2, Week 1. This is your teacher, Rafi G. Aguilar. Before we begin, of course, I would like to congratulate everyone because we are through with the Quarter 1 for the English 9. So today, I am now welcoming you to our English 9 for the second quarter. And this is gonna be more exciting and more fun. So before we start, of course, don't forget to visit our official website at gaitf.sims.school/lcms. I repeat, gaitf.sims.school/lcms. Log in your account there. Click our subject English 9 for school year 2020-2021. And of course, click the learning path, open the second quarter, and download the PDF files I have uploaded there, especially for the week 1 up to the last week of the quarter. Don't forget to answer the quizzes and submit your output there, as well as the activities. So, is everyone ready? I guess everyone is now ready. Now let's begin with our formal discussion. So class, what was our previous lesson from the first quarter that we have discussed a month ago, or a few months ago? What do you think? So last, we've discussed about the functions, the natures and process of communication. And then we differentiate the various models of communication and then uses various strategies in order to avoid communication breakdown, then examine samples of communication activities, identify the various types of speech context, distinguish the types of speech and speech style, then responds appropriately and effectively to a speech act. So those are the things that we have learned from the past quarter. Now for today's quarter, our lesson for this morning is all about making connections between text to particular social issues, concerns, or dispositions in real life. Now may I ask you, have you able to connect based on the written text you have read? Were you able to relate? Were you able to put yourself in the situation of the written text you have read? Okay, so as we read, of course, we are able to connect with the text, including our own experiences. Now for today's lesson, we are going to connect between the text to particular social issues. So what are the social issues, the concerns, or the dispositions in real life? So we are going to connect everything what is in the text to our personal experiences. So that's are the things that we are going to look forward. So, shall we begin? We shall. Very good, class. Okay, so our learning objectives for this morning, after going through this module, the learner is expected to A. Relate text content to particular social issues, concerns, or dispositions in real life by performing various activities. Second, write a meaningful essay on creating positive impact on someone else's life. And third, value the importance of one's willingness to help and work with others in this ever-changing world. So, these are the objectives that we are going to attain at the end of the discussion. Next slide. So this module was designed and written with you in mind. It is here to help you make connections between text to particular social issues, concerns, or dispositions in real life. The scope of this module permits it to be used in many different learning situations. The language used recognizes the diverse vocabulary level of students. The lessons are arranged to follow the standard sequence of the course, but the order in which you read them can be changed to correspond with the textbook you are now using. So this is a sort of an overview of what is inside the module that you have received, no? Okay. Now allow me to read this question. Who should be responsible for the moral education of a child? Is it the parents? Is it a society? Is it the school? Or is it everyone? Read the short story below and be ready to perform various activities related to the text. So who should be responsible for the moral education of a child? I'm going to leave you that questions, and maybe later on we are going to discuss, or we are going to answer that question. Whether it's for the parents, it's for the society, it's for the school, or it's for everyone. Now let's read the short story. Okay, the short story that we're going to read is Thank You, Mom by Langston Hughes. So let's read Thank You, Mom by Langston Hughes. She was a large woman with a large purse that had everything in it but hammer and nails. It had a long strap, and she carried it slung across her shoulder. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and she was walking alone when a boy ran up behind her and tried to snatch her purse. The strap broke with a single tap. The boy gave it from behind, but the boy's weight and the weight of the purse combined caused him to lose his balance. So, instead of taking off full blast as he had hoped, the boy fell on his back on the sidewalk and his legs flew up. The large woman simply turned around and kicked him right square in his blue jean seater. Then she reached down, picked the boy up by his shirt front, and shook him until his teeth rattled. After that, woman said, "Pick up my pocketbook, boy, and give it here." She still held him, but she bent down enough to permit him to stoop and pick up her purse. Then said, "No, ain't ashamed of yourself." Firmly gripped by his shirt front, the boy said, "Yes, Mom." The woman said, "What did you want to do it for?" The boy said, "I didn't aim you." She said, "You a lie." By that time, 2 or 3 people passed, stopped, turned to look, and some stood watching. "If I turn you loose, will you run?" asked the woman. "Yes, said the boy. "Then I won't turn you loose," said the woman. She did not realize him. "I'm very sorry, lady. I'm sorry," whispered the boy. And your face is dirty. I got a great mind to wash your face for you. Ain't you got nobody home to tell you to wash your face?" "No, said the boy. "Then it will get washed this evening," said the large woman, starting up the street, dragging the frightened boy behind her. He looked as if he were 14 or 15, frail and willow-wild in tennis shoes and blue jeans. The woman said, "You ought to be my son. I would teach you right from wrong. Least I can do right now is to wash your face. Are you hungry?" "If you were Roger, would you trust Mrs. Jones right away?" So the name of the woman is Mrs. Jones. So if you were in the position of Roger, okay, so this is how you relate the story into the real life situation. So if you were Roger, would you trust Mrs. Jones right away? So I will leave that question to you behind. And of course, it's up to you. What would be your answer? So you should have to connect the text, no? The text in a real life situation, especially in in your position. So, no, said the being dragged boy. I just want you to turn me loose. Was I bothering you when I turned the corner? Asked the woman. No. But you put yourself in contact with me, said the woman. If you think that the contact is not going to last a while, you got another thought coming. When I get through with you, sir, you are going to remember Mrs. Louilla Bates, Washington Jones. Sweat popped out on the boy's face and he began to struggle. Mrs. Jones stopped, jerked him around in front of her, put a hot Nelson about his neck, and continued to drag him up the street. When she got to her door, she dragged the boy inside down a hall and into a large kitchenette, furnished room at the rear wall of the house. She switched on the light and left the door open. The boy could hear another rumors, laughing and talking in the large house. Some of their doors were open too, so he knew he and the woman were not alone. The woman still had him by the neck in the middle of her room. She said, "What is your name?" "Roger," answered the boy. "Then, Roger, you go to the sink and wash your face," said the woman. Whereupon she turned him loose at last. Roger looked at the door, looked at the woman, looked at the door, and went to the sink. "Let the water run until it gets warm," she said. "Here's a clean towel. You gonna take me to jail?" asked the boy. "Being over the sink, not with that face, I would not take you nowhere," said the woman. "Here I am trying to get home to cook me a bite to eat, and he snatched my pocketbook. Maybe you ain't been to your supper either, late as it be. Have you?" "There's nobody home at my house," said the boy. "Then we'll eat," said the woman. "I believe you're hungry, or been hungry to try to snatch my pocketbook." "I wanted a pair of blue suede shoes," said the boy. "Well, you didn't have to snatch my pocketbook to get some sweet shoes," said Mrs. Louilla Bates, Washington Jones. "You could have asked me, Ma." The water dripping from his face, the boy looked at her. There was a long pause, a very long pause. After he had tried his face and not knowing what else to do, tried it again, the boy turned around, wondering what next. The door was open. He could make a dash for it down the hall. He could run. If you were Roger, would you run? So that is how another you are going to connect it in a real world situation. So if you're in the position of Roger, would you do the same thing? That's the question I'm leaving to you. The woman was sitting on the daybed. After a while, she said, "I were young once, and I wanted things I could not get." There was another long pause. The boy's mouth opened, then he frowned, but not knowing he frowned. The woman said, You thought I was going to say that, didn't you? You thought I was going to say, but I didn't snatch people's pocketbooks. Well, I wasn't going to say that." Pause. Silence. "I have done things too, which I would not tell you. Son, neither tell God, if he didn't already know. So you sit down while I fix us something to it. You might run the comb through your hair so you will look presentable." What did Roger feel at this moment? In another corner of the room behind a screen was a gas plate and an ice box. Mrs. Jones got up and went behind the screen. The woman did not watch the boy to see if he was going to run out, nor did she watch her first, which she left behind her on the daybed. But the boy took care to sit on the far side of the room where he thought she could easily see him out of the corner of her eye. If she wanted to, he did not trust the woman not to trust him, and he did not want to be mistrusted now. "Do you need somebody to go to the store?" asked the boy, maybe to get some milk or something. Don't believe I do, said the woman, and laughed. You just want sweet milk yourself. I was going to make a cocoa out of this canned milk I got here. That will be fine, said the boy. She heated some lima beans and ham she had in the icebox, made a cocoa, and set the table. The woman did not ask the boy anything about where he lived or his folks or anything else that would embarrass him. Instead, as they ate, she told him about her job in a hotel beauty shop that stayed open late, what the work was like, and how all kinds of women came in and out, blondes, redheads, and Spanish. Then she cut him a half of her 10-cent cake. Eat some more, son, she said. When they were finished eating, she got up and said, Now here, take this $10 and buy yourself some blue suede shoes. And next time, do not make the mistake of latching onto my pocketbook, nor nobody else, because shoes come by devilish like that will burn your feet. I got to get my rest now, but I wish you would help yourself, son, from here on in. She led him down the hall to the front door and opened it. Good night. Behave yourself, boy, she said. Looking out into the street, the boy wanted to say something else other than, Thank you, Mom, to Mrs. Luella Bates Washington Jones, but he couldn't do so as he turned at the bar and stood and looked back at the large woman in the door. He barely managed to say thank you before she shut the door, and he never saw her again. So, how is the story? Isn't it good or bad? Well, for me, the story is very nice. Imagine, he snatched the pocketbook of the woman, but the woman managed to help her. To help him, to fix him, to make him clean. In the end, the woman also gave him $10 to buy a suede shoes. So it's very nice, no? It's very nice. I hope you've learned something today, class. Okay. The concept map below shows the values that we can drive home from the selection. Thank you, Mom. Reflect and study each note carefully in order to perform the succeeding activities successfully. So this is the concept map, no? Okay, so the title of the short story is Thank You, Mom. That's by Langston Hughes. So, of course, the moral of the story is kindness and compassion. So the title itself, Thank You, Mom, eventually suggests that kindness has been performed. This was manifested when Mrs. Jones showed her heartfelt compassion to the would-be robber Roger. Instead of turning over Roger to the police, Mrs. Jones took Roger home, washed and fed him. So it's all about kindness and compassion. So another one is forgiveness and understanding. So another moral of the story is forgiveness and understanding. One can create a positive impact on others by showing forgiveness and understanding even to those who may not seem deserving. As depicted in the story, Mrs. Jones did not judge Roger despite his misconduct, thus revealing the value of second chances. And last but not the least, love and support. So, it can be inferred from the text that Roger is neglected at home. Had his parents shown him the love and support he needs, he couldn't have done such misconduct. It is then proper and fitting to teach the young generation prosper values and give them utmost love and support. Now I'm going to ask you the first questions I have given to you in the first discussion. So what was the title of the story? So it's Thank You, Ma'am. Okay, from the story written by Langston Hughes. So the question, what was the question that was given? It's all about what? So it's all about that who should be responsible for the moral education of a child. Would that be the parents? Would that be the society? Would that be the school? Or would that be the everyone? So, everyone is included. The parents, the society, the school, and everyone played an important role in molding the moral education of a child. But first and foremost, to mold the first is the parents. It's up for the parents how they manage their students to become educated in moral. So it started at home, no? Our parents mold us how to become kind, compassion, forgiving, understanding, love, and supportive. So this is how. So these are the moral lesson of the story. It's very nice. Kindness, compassion, forgiveness, understanding, love, and support. And that's all for today, class. I hope that you've learned something for the first lesson of the second quarter. So thank you for having your time with me. And always remember that in every challenges of life, if we commit mistake, we should always remember God and repent for our sin. That's the most important thing to do. And of course, we always have to give other people a second chance for those who are deserving, and for those we are not perfect. Everyone is unique. Everyone can commit mistakes. All we have to do is to forgive, forget, and move on. Okay, class, thank you. So before we end up this lesson, of course, don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel so that you are updated on our latest videos upload, especially to our subject. So thank you everyone, stay safe and God bless. Bye!